A very good afternoon to one and all present here. On behalf of the SJSAC Alumni Association, I, Dr. Vatsala, extend a warm welcome to our esteemed dignitaries, professors, postgraduate scholars, interns, and students to Prabodha 2024. I request the dignitaries to please come to the dais. Our Dean, Dr.S.Swaminathan, sir. Our Principal, Dr. Chittaranjan Das, sir. Today's guest speaker, Shri T.S. Dayanand, sir. President of the SJSACAA, Dr. A.G. Vaijayanti, ma'am. Secretary, Dr. Bharat Narendra, sir. Joint Secretary, Dr. Jennifer P., ma'am. And Executive Committee Member, Dr. Balathirupura Sundari, ma'am. Please. Let's begin the event by invoking the blessings of the divine. I request Dr. A.G. Vaijayanti, ma'am, Dr. Balathirupura Sundari, ma'am, Dr. S. Swaminathan, sir, Dr. Chittaranjan Das, sir, and Shri T.S. Dayanand, sir, to light the lamps. I request everyone to please stand up for the prayer song. Prayer song will be rendered by Dr. Amrita Karthikeyan.
Namami dhanvantarimadhidevam Surasurirvanditapadapatmam Loke jararukbhayam mrityunasham Dhadharamisham vividaushadhinam Maitrim bhajata akila grijretrim Maitrim bhajata akila grijretrim Atmavateva paranapi pashyata Atmavateva paranapi pashyata Yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata Yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata Tyajata pareshvakramakramanam Janani prithvi kamadhugaste Janani prithvi kamadhugaste Janako devaha sakala dayalo Janako devaha sakala dayalo Damyata datta Dayatvam janata damyata datta Dayatvam janata Shreyo bhuyat sakala jananam Shreyo bhuyat sakala jananam Shreyo bhuyat sakala jananam.
In honor of the late Dr. L. Mahadevan, sir, let us rise and observe a moment of silence, paying tribute to his remarkable contributions and legacy. Thank you. I am honored to invite Dr. A.G. Vaijayanti, ma'am, President of the SJSACAA, to deliver the welcome address and provide an introduction to Prabodha 2024. Ma'am, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalaspatikakritam Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Pasmahe. Honorable Dean Dr. S. Swaminathan, sir. Principal Dr. Chittaranjan Das, sir. Esteemed Speaker Shri T.S. Dayanand ji. Respected members of the Faculty and Management Committee. my fellow team members at Maitri, dear colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Prabodha 2024. On behalf of Maitri, our SJSAC Alumni Association, it gives me absolute pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to each and every one of you present here for our April edition of Prabodha 2024. We are thrilled to host such an enthusiastic and highly learned audience today. Prabodha, a CME initiative, was started in 2019 with the aim of sparking thoughtful discussion and stimulating new ideas in the field of Ayurveda. Of late, it has expanded to include relevant topics from allied fields as well. Prabodha in Sanskrit means awakening from ignorance, becoming conscious, or wisdom. We are fortunate to have with us today two distinguished speakers, Dr.S.Swaminathan sir and Shri T.S. Dayanand ji, who are noted figures in the field of Ayurveda, FMCG sector and consulting. Each one of them bring in valuable experience and insights that will indeed make this session a fruitful and enriching experience. As we set out on this intellectual journey, we hope that you'll all walk away with a plethora of insights and fresh perspectives about the topic at hand. Once again, welcome to Prabodha 2024.
Thank you, ma'am, for initiating this event with your insightful remarks. I now welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Chittaranjan Das sir, to speak a few words. Sir, please.
Savaya Nama Gurubhya Namaha. Respected today's guest, respected Dean sir, our alumni executive panel people, and my dear colleagues and beloved students. So today we are gathered here for the guest lecture by our Dr. T.S. Dayanand sir, how to manage the financial aspect in our life. So it is very, very important. We should have to know the ideas how to save the money, because it is the wealth is very, very important for our life. So morning I was discussing with sir what I have learned from my grandmother. If today you have 10 rupees, you spend 5 rupees and another 5 rupees you keep for tomorrow. We do not know tomorrow whether we will get the money or not. If tomorrow you get another 10 rupees, don't spend that 10 rupees. You spend only 5 rupees, keep that 10 rupees for next day. So that whenever you will start keeping like that way, over a period of time you will have adequate amount of financial things so that you can think of your investment in future. So whenever you are going to start investing, as per my knowledge, so two ways we can spend. One is by buying the gold, another one is buying the properties, litigation free properties, because it has more value in the future. And another one, we have to invest for our kids, because they are also future, then we have to see their future also. So in this way, if you can go for it, so life won't be misery. So detailed things our Dayanand sir will tell how to do it. And apart from that, our Swaminathan sir, he is going to speak about the how that sloka is fascinated sir. And the sloka is nothing but the sutra. Through that, he has remembered many things and then implementing in his practical field. So I request both of them to give the details for our students, because students are our future. So with that, I can say thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite Dr. Bharat Narendra sir to introduce our first speaker, Dr. S. Swaminathan sir.
Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Dhanvantaraya Namaha. So today, I stand here before you all humbled and honored because I am going to introduce one of my own gurus, Dr.S.Swaminathan sir. He was born in the 2nd of June 1964 in a small village called Anayambatti at Salem. His education, BAMS, he did it in the Coimbatore Ayurveda College. Then he pursued his Ph.D. from SJSAC in the concept of Amadosha, a critical study. He has worked in various colleges. He started with Venkatramana Ayurveda College as a lecturer. Later, he moved on to the A.L.N. Rao Memorial Ayurvedic Medical College at Koppa, Karnataka. And after that, he joined our esteemed institution, Sri Jayendra Saraswati Ayurveda Medical College, and rest is history. Okay, so he is now the Dean of Health Sciences at SJSAC, Yenathur, Kanchipuram, and he is also the Professor and Head of Department of Samhita and Siddhanta and Sanskrit. He is a member of the Academic Council in Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Vishwavidyalaya. He is a member of Board of Studies also at SJSVMB. He writes very regularly at the Dinamani Kadir as a Ayur Kakum Ayurvedam. He has also published 7 books based on Ayur Kakum Ayurvedam. சாரை பற்றி சொன்னோம்னா அது வந்து ஒரு கடல், நம்ம சொல்லிகிட்டே போகலாம். அவர் வந்து 45 நிமிஷம் பேசுவார், நான் அவரை பற்றி பேசணுன்னா 145 நிமிஷம் பேசணும். ஓகே, ஸோ I'll try and cut short here. So he has also been in the board member of Licensing Authority of Tamil Nadu for the past 5 years. He has given more than 100 lectures, guest lectures. Reserve Bank of India has nominated him to give the health tips in Ayurveda for a disease-free life for people who have retired. And then what has he not achieved? So it's a great pleasure, sir, to hear from you today. I welcome you onto the stage to please deliver the lecture. Thank you.
Sarve Santu Niramayaha. My pranams to the chief guest, my pranams to the faculty members and the alumni members, my best wishes to the students of the college. Coming to the topic, slokas fascinating me. It's only a small collection of various textbooks. First slide, please. This is a fantastic sloka available in Charaka Samhita, Chikitsa Sthanam, 15th chapter, Grahani Adhyayam. The sloka is Snehameva Param Vidyat, Durbala Analadhipanam, Naalam Sneka Samithasya, Shamayanam Sugurvapi. Highly practical oriented, Charaka's version. The word Snehameva Param Vidyat. Durbala Anala Deepanam. See, in your future medical practice, there are patients with the Durbala Anala Deepanam. Analam is Durbalam. Patient may come and tell you, I don't have much appetite. For that, Charaka Acharya says, you have the option called Sneham. There are 2 groups of patients that we come across in life. Agni Mandhyam can happen due to various reasons. But there is a powder called Ashtachurnam in Ayurveda. There is a powder called Vaishwanaram Churnam. There is a powder called Hinguvajadi Churnam. These three are very top class medicines for Agni Deepanam. So, you give any one of these powders to a patient who has Agni Mandhyam, and to another patient with the same Agni Mandhyam, you give a Sneha Dravyam called Dadimadi Ghritam. Just give 5 ml and then observe. Ask the patient, both of them you would give, and then ask them to come back after 14 days or 15 days. Let them come back. The person who gets the Agni Deepanam due to Ashtachurnam or Vaishwanaram or Hinguvachadi Churnam, you give 2 parota to him. Ask him to eat that. It is a Guru Dravyam. The person is likely to develop Agni Mandhyam again. There is a chance. Whereas the person who takes Dadivadi Gridam, 5 ml, 2 times a day, after the 15th day, you give him 8 parotas. He will not have Agni Mandhyam. Why? That is why he quotes the Jatara Agni, which becomes Jwala due to the Sneha Dravyam, especially Gridam, the Agni is permanent in him. And in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamasratam Pranapana Samayuktaha Pacham Yannam Chadurvedham. So, the Agni is the moolam of arogyam of any purusha. For any living being, it is Jatara Agni which is very important. And please remember in your medical practice that you will opt for Gritam rather than Churnam. That is why you see Ashtachurnam goes with the Prathama Kabala Bhojyaha Sarpisha Churnagoyam. He is very intelligent to write that word. Sarpisha Churnagoyam Janayade Jataragnim Bhatagulmam Nikanti, he says. And Snehameva Param Vidyat Durbala Anara Deepanam Na Alam. Definitely no. Sneka Samidhasya Shamayanam Sugurubapi. However, heavy food item can be digested easily by a Sneha Dravya. The reason for that is Piktam Sasneha Tishnoshnam Lagu Visram Saram Dravam. Piktam is a Sasneha Dravyam. You look at the sun. You look at you go through a YouTube, the video of the sun. You can see the fire emanating from the sun god. You can see the element of oil in that. A kind of a black structure will also come with that. You can see at the house also, when you light a lamp, the light glows as long as the oil is there in the wick. Once the oil is exhausted, then the fire is put off. Same thing for the humans also. So, first point to remember from Charaka Samhita, Grahani Adhyayam, the importance of Sneha Prayogaha in Agni Mandhyam. Number 2, next one. This is a quotation from Ashtanga Hridayam. Atisara Chikitsa. Many of us do not know that. Kshine Male Swa Ajataneshu Chuteshu Doshantareshu Irana Ekavire Ko Nishtanan Pranidi Koštashuli Na Andarbagis Tailaparo Yadisya. Very important sloka to remember in medical practice. When the Atisaram in the form of amoebiasis or IBS, whatever it is, what is called Pravahika, Vayu Pravardho Nichitam Balasam, we have studied in Madhava Nidanam. So, any kind of case with the Atisara Rogam, Acharya quotes that whenever he tells you a stomach pain, then you see the sloka, Kshine Male, the lot of fecal matter has gone out of the rectal bag, and Swa Ajataneshu Chuteshu Doshantareshu, the remaining Kapha and Pitta Dosham have come into their sthana, and Irana Ekavire, Vayu is standing alone and dominating the whole Koshta Bhagaha. Then Koštashuli, the patient complains you severe abdominal pain. In such a case, only 2 teaspoons of gingerly oil, 10 ml of gingerly oil, morning and evening in empty stomach you give, the patient will come out of the problem. Amoebiasis, irritable bowel syndrome, and any kind of grahani vikaram, when there is Vayu dominating in Adhisara, the only answer is Tilatailam. You give only 2 teaspoons. Why I am telling is that you go to the Sutra Sthanam of Ashtanga Hridayam. You might have studied Tailam Sayonivat Tatra Mukhyam Tikshnam Yavayucha. And come to the 3rd line, Baddhavitkam Krimignam Cha Samskaral Sarvarogajit, he says. Krishanam Brahmanayalam Sthulanam Karshanayachanam. So, Tilatailam stops not only the Adisaram, but it will pacify the Vayu in the Koshta Bhagaha, and it is Krimignam. And it becomes a Samskarat Sarvarogajit. When you process it, then it becomes Sarvarogajit. Tilatailam alone is the answer. Because of my experience, I tell you that a boy who came from Spain, he stayed there for 2 years and he has come down to Chennai with the IBS problem. I gave him only this Tilatailam because he has gone to all allopathic gastroenterologists. There was no reply. By giving this, he had a remarkable recovery. Though I may not say 100%, but the recovery was very, very fast. Acharya will never make a mistake in any of the Samhitas. Only we should dive deep into the textbook and understand and bring it to the forum of the practice. Number 3. Next one. This is another one. It is from Vasanta Ritu Charya. I am really surprised with a single line sloka. Acharya confirms you that the nasal congestion, the chest congestion, acute sinusitis will all get cured with a simple 1-line sloka. He tells many things in the middle, but finally he quotes. I think Acharya got fed up with all the things. And finally he writes, Kotitam Ustashundhyambu. And see the next word, Sarambaha Kshaudravarivanam. Any patient who will come to your clinic with this chest congestion and nasal congestion, please advise them to go for Musta and Shunti Jalam. It is a very important advice that we forget. Musta is called Koraikkilangu in Tamil, Cyprus rotundus. You take only 10 grams of that and add 5 grams of Shunti in that, and it becomes 15 grams. Then you go to Sharangadhara Samhita, a quotation comes, Karsham Grahitva Dravyasya Toyasya Prastham Avahet Ardha Avasesham Tatpitam Toyabhagetu Ayam Vidhihinam. In Sharangapanam, in Jwara Chikitsa, Acharya quotes that. So, 15 grams of this powder, you boil it in 1 liter of water and reduce it to 500 ml. And then ask the patient to drink that as the water, medicated water. Then Acharya confirms that any kapha vikara will get cured. If it is not possible for the fellow, ask him to go for a honey mixed water at least. Kshaudravarivan. But understand that Ushnam, Ushnartam, Ushnecha, Ushnaihi, Tan Niganditat. You should not mix honey with the hot water. It should be a boiled and cooled water. You add 5 ml of honey in that, mix it thoroughly and take after the food, because it is after the bhojanam only kapha increases. As per the sloka, Vayoho Ratri Bhuktanam. Can you complete? Te antamadhyadikaha kramatam. So after bhojanam, you give a little of this water. I tell you that you need not prescribe Yagriyadi Kashayam, Varanadi Kashayam and all that. Asthmatic patients recover very fast with this simple prescription. Go to the next one, please. This is another surprise. We have fascinating sloka that I come across in Jwara Chikitsa. After Acharya says that, Amashayasto Hatva Agnim Samo Margan Vedayacha. Sloka starts, Tatra Utklishte Samutkrishte Kapat Praye Chale Male. And he goes on telling that after you give Langhanam, a Jwara Rogi comes out of the Shataka Chikitsala, he comes out of the problem. What is the benefit of Langhanam in Jwaram, he says? Langhanaihi Kshapite Doshe Deepte Agnau Laghave Sati Swastham Kshut Trut Ruchipaktir Balam Ojascha Jayatena. We cannot even think about such a sloka. How can a Lankanam give ojas for a fellow? That means Lankanam is removing the internal debris of the Jara Rogi. Once it washes away all the parts and makes the complete parts, internal parts very speck and clean, only with the Lankanam, a patient will enjoy ojas. Ojas is what? Ubjati anena idi ojaha. It is nikdham somatmakam shuddham ishal lohita vitakam yannashena yadam nashaha yasmim tishtati, Acharya says. Ojas can definitely improve only with the jivaniya aushadam, boiled with the kshiram. In this only place where Vagbhata Acharya will contradict with the statement, with the Lankanam, your ojas is going to increase. A surprising statement that I have come across in the whole textbook of Ayurveda. Another one, next one please. This is another surprise, what we do not normally we do in practice. Anjanot kleshitam nasyaihi kabalair navaneritam dhumena kabalot klishtam kramat vadakabham jayetanan. Vadakabham is located in the shiras, and what the patient complains to is that chronic sinusitis, heaviness of head, headache, running nose, nose block, the tongue is coated, the buccal cavity is swollen, and all that he complains. And we understand Varanadi Kashayam is the best. We naturally come across Varanadi Kabam Meto Mandagnittum Nayachatim Adhyavatam Shirashulam Gulmam Chandasa Vidradhim. We naturally prescribe Varanadi Kashayam. But this theory is very important. In Dinacharya Adhyaya, Acharya says, take 1 or 2 drops of Yalanir Korambu in the eye, you put it. By that, Anjanot Kleshitam, Utkleshitam Kabam will come into the Nasya Bhagaha. And Nasir Navaneritam, then you put Anudailam, 2 drops. From there, the melted kapha will come into the mouths. Once it comes into the mouth, you do the dhumapanam or kabalagraham. By that, this is the way how we can remove vata and kapham from the shiras. So, you need not prescribe Varanadi Kashayam at all. We will follow this as a principle in our medical practice. But we are normally missing this information from the textbook. Next one please. Another wonder, this I come across, a boy of 7 years was rejected by the Alapas because his Kantarogini, this was very much swollen in the 2 areas that he could not swallow the food at all. Chronic, we can say tonsillitis. The mother came here and told me this. I said, I have no other option other than giving you this as an advice. Khatira kshiri vriksha arimeta ambu kabalagraha. Look at the next line. Arochaka asya vairasya malaputi prasayagajitanan. We prepared a decoction of this. Khatira kshiri vriksham, nalpamaram. 4 மரம் இருக்கும், அதுல இருந்து பால் வரும். அதுக்காக நால்பாமரம்னு பேரு. ஆலம்பட்டை, அரசம்பட்டை, அத்திப்பட்டை, இத்திப்பட்டை. And arimetaha. Arimetaha is called what you call babul in Hindi mein. Then it is called alam velam sollukurudi. Alam velam pallukurudi. Naalum irandum sollukurudi in Tamil. So this is called arimetaha. We prepared a decoction with this and asked the boy to rotate it in the mouths and spit it out. Within 7 days, he had an amazing recovery. Please remember, it is available in Dinacharya, it is not available in Kaya Chikitsa. He said everything in Sutrasthanam. So this is from Vagbhata Acharya's quotation. Please remember in your medical practice. Next one, please. This is another wonder. This is another wonder. Kittam Kesha Loma Astunoho. I want to take only that point. The malam of the Asti Dhatu is Kesham and Lomam. So, whenever patients come to you with a hair loss problem, we apply Neeli Bringadi Tailam. Apply, no reply. Definitely. Why? Because it is stated by Charaka that the Malabhagam, the hair you are getting on the head is because of Asti Dhatu. So we have to improve upon the Asti Dhatu here, for which there is a prescription called Tripala Adi Churnam. Tripala Madhusarpibhyam Nishinetra Balayacha. We have studied. Night bedtime you take Tripala powder. Add a little Pravala Basmam. Add a little Loga Basmam. Add a little Abraga Basmam. And there is one more thing is called Annabheti Sinduram. You add, because they improve the functions of the Asti Dhatu. And ask the patient to mix it with a little honey and ghee and take it at night bedtime. I see many people coming and telling me that hair fall is decreasing. Hair fall definitely decreases with that combination, because Charaka Acharya confirms that it is not the oil that is going to help you. It is the Asti Mala which is going to help you. For that, this is the combination. Please remember in your medical practice. Next one, please. Every human being, not only humans, but also every living being wants to be happy. Happiness is the ultimate aim of any person, that you will get only with the 7 things. Kalo Anukulaha, Vagbhadacharya quotes. Kalam is Duvidam. One is called Jirna Kalam, and another one is called Ritukalam. Kalo Anukulaha. You look into your digestive capacity and understand that you have digested the previous meal in toto, for which you have lakshanas. Vagbhadacharya in Ashtanga Sangraham quotes, Udgara Shuddhir Utsaho, Vega Utsargo Yadochitaha, Laguda Kshutpipasacha, Jirna Aharasya Lakshanam. So once you are digested the food totally, you get all these things in appearance, then you are going to get Sada Sukham Gara. Number 1. Ritukalam I am not touching because it's a very big chapter. Second point, Vishaya Manojnanam. You please involve your mind in activities which will make you happy. Definitely, for office bearers, the office work may not be a happy one, but you make it happy. The work, whatever you do now, you just make it happy for you. By that, you are going to get Sada Sukham Garar. Second point. Third point, Dharmyaha Kriyaha. Any activity you do that, you should have Paraloka Yeshanam, Ihaloka Yeshanam. Inniki naan Saukyama Irkanam, Adatta Janmavaliyum na Saukyama Irkanam. It is only Ayurveda which will talk birth after deaths. No other medical science will talk. And your next janma will also be very happy when you do dharmyaha kriyaha, which will bring nitya sukham for you, and karma sukhanubandhi. Any activity that you involve should bring in a sukham for you, not dukkham. Sattvam vidheyam, an independent mind is necessary. And Vishadaja Buddhi, a clarity to the brain is very essential for everyone. And Bhavanti Dhirasya, the word Dhiraha is not courage. It is wrongly translated in English textbooks. The word Dhiraha means to uphold the principles that in life. For example, Brahme Muhurte Uttishtet. Get up at 4:30 in the morning. Go for your Nitya Karma. Brahmins go for Sandhya Vandanam and all that. This is an activity that is called, what you call that, Bhavanti Dhirasya. Sticking on to the principle. Yes, I make it a policy. I will get up at 4:30 in the morning. If you make it as a challenge and do that and follow all the points in Dinacharya, that will bring what you call Sada Sukham for all of us. Next slide, please. This is very, very important. I am surprised with this sloka. Kramad apangepi manau, panko avashyam bhavatyataha, uttishteta yatha kalam malanam shodhanam pratinar. That means you take a precious gem, you purchase one diamond from GRT, you go to T Nagar and purchase one diamond. And then you can see ladies wearing it as a stud in the ear. Now it is pala pala and all that. Diamond is shining. But after 6 months or 8 months, slowly the oil will go inside the diamond. And then they take it to the shop and then ask the fellow to clean it and give it back. This is what Acharya quotes here. Kramat gradually apanke api manav. Money, a precious gem, which is not dirty, apankaha api panko avashyam bhavati. It will also become dirty in due course of time. Same thing happens in the human body also. So, uttishteta yatha kalam alanam shodhanam pratingarad. We have to go for antashodhanam. And one thing here I want to tell you that allopathics are much better than us. A diabetic patient goes to an allopathic doctor. The first advice, a PCOD or PCOS, a girl goes to the doctor. First advice is to go for exercise, go for a walking. Diabetic patients are advised to go for a walking for 30 minutes minimum. I tell you that is what is called malanam shodhanam pratinanam. By 30 minutes walk, you get antashodhanam, because all the triglycerides, all the LDL cholesterol will all start melting because of vyayama dushmanastaikshnyatam. And they are advising, we forget to advise to a diabetic patient. So whenever you come across diabetic patients, please tell to go for a walking at least for 30 to 40 minutes. Then you are doing justice to the sloka. So internal washing happens not only with the panchakarma, it can also happen through vyayamaha. Sharira ayasam jananam karma vyayama uchchate. And next sloka. Doshaha kadachit kupyanti jita langhana pachanaihi etu samshodhanaihi shuddha na tesham punarudbhavahan. Wonderful sloka. A patient may come to you and you look at the fellow and you want to give langhanam. Langhanam kadividham, langhanam dvividham. One is shodhanam, shamanam. Shodhanam 5, shamanam 7. Here, allopathics fail, we win the thing. When you come to the shamana chikitsa of the rogi, what are they? Pachanam, deepanam, kshut, trit, vyayama, adapa, marutaihi. These are the 7 principles in shamanam. You try to give shamanam to your rogi, there is every chance of the disease to come back. Whereas, shodhanam, you give, for example, a patient comes to you with a hyperacidity. You understand that pittam is there in the intestinal canal, you give abhipatti churnam. Abhipatti churnam is a simple prescription. Vyoshat trijatagam bodha krimighna amalakais trivarit sarvai sama samasita madhukena gudiki krita. Very important. Abhipatti yam namna prashasta pittarogi namnar. It should go with the honey only. I see people prescribing abhipatti churnam with the kshiram. Take it with milk. At what time? Night, bedtime. No. That is also wrong. Yeah. So, what we should do that, abhipatti churnam should be mixed with the honey. And it is said that madhyanne virechanam. A light breakfast should be given. That gets digested. Somewhere at 11 o'clock in the morning, you prescribe abhipatti churnam. And then it will give clean virechanam. The pitta dosham from the amashayam or aginyashayam will come out comfortably with that. I tell you that the best remedy for pitta dosham is virechanam. Best shodhanam for kapham is vamanam. And best shodhanam for vayu is vasti. Sharirajanam doshanam vastir. It is stated. So you all know the thing. So Acharya confirms that don't opt for langhana pachanam, opt for shodhanam. That is pradhanam in chikitsa. Okay. Right. This way, next one. This is a very complicated statement. I am surprised that Mathura Amla Lavanaha, Katutikta Kashayaha, Idara Pratipakshahan, Bhedaja Avacharaniyam Adhyayam, Ashtanga Sangraham, 24th chapter. In the middle of the Gadyam, he quotes it. The antidote for Mathuram is Katu. Surprising to the whole, even for the World Health Organization, you can make a presentation on this. For diabetic patients who got the diabetes due to Mathura Sevanam, the reply is not Tiktarasam. We tell you take lot of Pahaka and all that. No. Karam is the remedying herb. Katu is the reply. And you look into the Kshmambho Agnikshma, forgotten. Kshmambho Agnikshma Ambutejaha Ghavayuhu. There you go through the complete Bhuta Gatana of the sloka, you will understand. Mathuram is decreased by Katu Rasam and not by Tikta Rasam. If this is created by Amla Rasam, the reply should be with the Tikta Rasam. And for Lavana Rasa, it is Kashayam. I think we have to make a presentation on this. Next one, please. Last one, we can make it. So, this is the one that I want to conclude. If at all you want to have a good active immunity in your body, please stick on to this principle from Ashtanga Hridayam Sutra Sthanam. One is that Vyayamaha, Laghavam Karma Samarthyam, Deepto Agnihi Medasa Kshayahanam, Vibhatta Ganagatratvam, Vyayama Tupajayatenar, and Snigdham. You must consume Sneha Padartham in your day-to-day life. Don't think about cholesterol and all that. Wrong theory. You must take 3 to 4 teaspoons of ghritam with a hot rice, because it is stated, Shastam dhi sprati medhagnihi balayuhu shukra chakshusham balavriddha prajakantihi saukumaryaha swararthinamnar. So ghritam should go there. It is full of phospholipids and it is the brain tonic, I tell you. And third one, Deepta Agnihim. Keep your Agni in a very good state. Number 4, Vayastahanam. Even an old man should remain younger. Vayastaha, Balashalinam. You must have a very good strength of your body, which you can get only through three areas. One is called Sagajabalam, Kalabalam, Yuktikritam. Sagajabalam comes from your parents. Nobody can destroy that till your deaths. Kalabalam, according to the seasons, you have to gain the strength. And Yukti Kritam. And when somebody tells in the cricket player, now I think Sachin Tendulkar maybe, he tells in the advertisement, boost is the secret of my energy, he says. Or maybe Dhoni, I don't know who is that. When all people run to the medical shop and purchase boost and take it. Yes, correct. That is called Yukti Kritam. Buddhi Pashyati Ya Bhavaha. Bahukarana Yogajan. Padartha Vijnanam. Madam is there. So, rational thinking is very important for all of you to improve upon your standards of life. So, this is the way, 5 areas. If you are very good, then Virodhyapina Pidaye. Even if you are exposed to the Viruddha Aharam, you will not succumb to any disorder. Acharya confirms. So, next slide and last one. Dhanyavadaha, Namaskaraha.
Thank you, sir, for your captivating and invaluable remarks. Over to Dr. Bharat Narendra, sir, to introduce our guest speaker, Shri T.S. Dayanand, sir, for the next session.
Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Om Dhanvantaraye Namah. Shri T.S. Dayanand. He is an executive coach and a management consultant. Dayanand is a seasoned professional with about 30 years of experience in the fast-moving consumer goods, that is the FMCG sector. As a coach, he works with senior leaders across industries, guiding them in their leadership journey. His consulting work focuses on helping companies redefine their growth strategy and re-engineer business processes, leading to improved performance. Previously, having worked with GlaxoSmithKline, the consumer healthcare, and then Reckitt and Hindustan Unilever, Dayanand ji has a proven track record of building brands, driving change, and growing businesses in highly competitive environments. With a multi-country leadership experience, he has held several senior roles in sales, marketing, and general management in Asia and Africa. With about 10 years of managing directorship and board experience, he brings a well-rounded expertise in developing leadership talent and driving organizational change. Over to Sri T.S. Dayanand. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. First of all, delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I should thank Dr. Bharat, of course the alumni body of this organization, Dr. Das, for me being here. I come from a very different world, and I was absolutely fascinated when Doctor was, chanting sharing all the slokas. I can't remember 1/50th of that. It's a very fascinating world that you are in. So we have 45 minutes, Doctor? Okay. It's about 4 o'clock. I'll try and keep it to 4:45. Because Friday evenings, it better be light. I don't want to load you people with stuff for you to too much to think, okay? Now, why am I here? Have you got any brief? Or did anybody tell you why I'm here? Feel free to answer. No, right answers. No? Sorry? To deliver seminar. That puts pressure on me. 32 years back, I was your age. I'm 56. So 32 years back, I remember being in the same phase, eager to take on the world, little confused, didn't know what to get out of it, but absolutely thrilled that I want to do something in life. But beyond that, I wasn't very clear. So I can understand where you are today. So what I'm going to share right now, in the next 45 minutes, is some thoughts, what I picked up over the last 30 years working. All right? Now I've just called this living your dream. I'm sure each one of you have a dream, not the one we get in the night, when you're awake, what you want to do in life, yeah? So all through your life, you'll be asking this question. Quo vadis. In Latin, it means, where are you headed? Whether you're 18, whether you're 30, whether you're 50, 70, this question always is in our heads. Where are you headed? It keeps changing. The context keeps changing, but this question remains. So what I'm going to speak to you right now is related to this. Where are you headed? All right? Have you seen this picture or this place? It's familiar, but any guesses? Yeah, Katipara Junction, right? But what's the technical term for this? In the highways industry, what they call this? If I can hear some voices, that would be great. What's in the highways department? What do they call this? Okay, they said flyover. Okay. Maybe someone of you said it, I couldn't hear it. It's called a multi-level grade separator. It's complex, multi-level grade separator. We call it flyover, right? Now, just because it's called a multi-level grade separator, it doesn't mean that you don't know it. You know it, all right? The reason I'm sharing this is, what I'm going to speak to you today is not earth-shatteringly new. You're going to know it, but you're going to try and see those elements with a slightly different perspective, okay? What do you expect from today? One is, let's say when I speak, when you interact, you could have an idea. Look, I didn't know this. This seems to be new. That's an option. That's a way in which you may learn something. Our mind never keeps quiet. You listen to me, but your mind is racing. You have your thoughts running. So the other way you learn today is, as you listen to me, your mind will teach you something. No, this I don't agree. I mean, I'm in agreement. There'll be something going on in your mind. That's the second way in which you will learn something. The third is, as you give answers to each other, you may get something that you don't know, but someone else knows it. This is typically how we learn, even in a classroom. So that's what's going to be even today. I don't think the picture is clear. You know, it says A.K. Wheeler and Company. How many of you have seen this store in a railway station? I can put up my hand. Have you seen the bookstore in a railway station? Right? You're waiting for the train. You go and browse some books. If you're interested, you'll buy one. You just have 15 minutes. You just go through some pages. You board the train, right? You can't read a full book. So what I'm going to speak today is just those browsing. I'm going to plant some thoughts with you. All right? If I ask Dr. Swaminathan speak about Ayurveda for 30 minutes, he's going to laugh because Ayurveda is such an ocean, 30 minutes doesn't do justice. So what I want to hear from me is also that it may not do justice to all the thoughts, but stay with me. Dr. Bharat introduced me. I'll just add a few points. All my 30 years I spent in consumer healthcare. You know, I was just laughing when Dr. Swaminathan said, Boost is the secret of my energy, yeah? Right? I was general manager marketing for Boost. So I had the chance to work and shoot television commercials with Sachin and Dhoni and Sehwag. So when he said, look, I was just waiting, is he going to, you know, what do you call, scold the person who did that ad? So thankfully he didn't scold the person. So, yeah. These were the three companies I worked with. 30 years, Unilever, GlaxoSmithKline. GlaxoSmithKline makes Horlicks, Boost, Eno, Crocin, Iodex, you know. And Reckitt makes Dettol, Harpic, Durex, Strepsils. So all my life, I've been in these three sectors. I did different roles, sales, marketing. My last 10 years, I was managing director for 3 different companies globally. Yeah, these are my teachers. Sir, you'll find Boost also here. Sir. Every brand, I have at some point in life either sold this brand or built this brand or marketed this brand. Every brand you treat is like a baby. When you nurture it, it's not just the baby grows, the parent also grows. So I owe all my knowledge to these brands which I managed over the period of time. I did have an opportunity to work across different markets in the world, South America, Latin America, Africa, Asia, China. It gave a certain perspective, which is what I've captured there. As I went around, I thought we're all different. I found everyone is the same. First time mother, 8 months pregnant, 1.5 months to delivery, goes to her mother's place for delivery. The conversation this woman and her mother have in Venezuela, in Russia, India, Vietnam, China will be the same. There's something universal to that conversation. The context is different, the language is different, the emotions are the same. Now, if you crack that, then you can manage anybody in the world. So that's what I learned in those few months, years. You've heard this, right? Vidwan sarvatra pujyate. Even a dacoit may not respect a Vidwan, but your role as doctors is special because even a dacoit will respect you as a doctor. Because you can give him or protect him from disease, or you can give him the life that he wants. So the reason I said special is I think all those people who are sitting in this room, highly special, and my respect to that. The craft I followed wasn't anywhere close to this. So yeah, you're indeed special. Now before we kick in, so I'm going to leave you with some questions as we go through it. As I said, I come from a very different world, so you have to see me through that lens. In the sense, I may not know all you know about medicine. How do you treat a patient? Very broad question. So, how do you... Symptoms. Dr. Bharat says symptoms. So you have symptoms. What else? What else is needed? Investigation. You can really scream your heart out, right? I'm sure your profs will not mind today, or I'll take permission. Yeah, symptoms. You said something? History. So in other words, you kind of know the patient, start knowing who or she is, right? So somewhere, you know the patient. What else do you need to treat illness? Medicine. I think he's giving all the right answer. He didn't see my presentation, but I thought, yeah, you need a bank of medicines. What do you treat the patient with?
I'm just repeating what they are saying.
Oh, okay. So I appreciate you for giving that credit to the right person, but yeah. There's a third element you will need as you progress. I'm sure all of you are bright, confident, smart souls wanting to get into this world and change something, at least make a life for yourself. In the journey, you'll need something. Have you thought about that? You have a patient, you have medicines, yeah. Knowledge, yes. We're getting close to it. Someone said skills. Skills. So there is a source from which you take this knowledge, take the skills as you progress. The college gives you only a certain amount of knowledge and skills. Beyond that, what do you do? So all through your life, you will need a mentor. Now I'm not saying, look, tomorrow you'll go there and figure out who your mentor is, he or she, and start appointing, look, you're my mentor, you will guide me in life. No. At some point, your mother would have been your mentor, your father would have been a mentor, a friend, a professor, tomorrow a senior colleague, a respected doctor. But all through your life, you will have somebody you will have as a sounding board, right through. So, in a way, this is how I see you treat illness. Okay? Now, the reason I'm saying this, we'll come back to this about 5-10 minutes later, but keep this as a reference. If you would not mind sharing your dream, would anybody be willing to share? What's your dream? 4 words, 5 words, 1 sentence. What's your dream? No? Or maybe you don't want to share it. I'm sure each one of you have a dream, but I'm sure you see 4 or 5 paths ahead of you. You just don't know which way to go. You know what to do, but you don't know which way to go. I read a quotation which said, decide who you want to be, you will know what to do. So decide who you want to be, you will know what to do. Okay? So the reason I'm showing this is, 32 years back, I was in a similar place. I didn't know where I was headed. I'm going to share some stories of my own life. At 20, I wanted to do engineering, aerospace. I tried hard. I never got into any engineering college. Much later in life, I realized, thank God I didn't get in. But at 20, I was very disappointed. Was I suited for engineering? I didn't know. Why did I go for engineering? Everybody was going that way. All right? At 21, I tried engineering again. I didn't get it. I did masters in packaging technology. Reluctantly, I worked in Unilever 2 years. I was still confused what I want to do. I was 25 or 23. Those 2 years told me that packaging, which I was working after masters, working for 2 years, is not where I want to be. So I took a master's and 2 years of work ex to realize where I don't want to be. But those 2 years exposed me to the consumer goods sector. I said, look, I want to do an MBA. So at 27, I finished my MBA and then realized, okay, this is where I think I would like to be. So for 10 years, I was searching. I was figuring out, trying. It's fine because when you work for 30, 40 years, those 5-7 years doesn't matter. But before you head up that way, I would want you to ask a question yourself. Do you know yourself? This is fundamental to your dream. So you would say, look, yeah, I know myself, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I'm going to point to some questions. If you're bold enough, answer me. If you don't want to answer, just digest it. Okay? Now, what's written there is, what are my strengths, what are my development needs? So do you know what your strengths are? Maybe you know. Do you know what your development needs are? Yes? I see a delightful nod, which is great. Now your development needs could be, I'm not very sure on Panchakarma. Look, that's an area I want to learn. Now patient psychology, I just don't know what these fellows are. So they would be in your domain, which is Ayurveda, there would be areas we want to strengthen. But you as a person, have you thought, are there areas you wish to strengthen? I'll give an example. When I was 27, I spent 16 years in sales in GlaxoSmithKline, selling Horlicks, Boost, whatever. But when I joined GlaxoSmithKline, I didn't like sales because I don't like, keeping on meeting people, calling. No, I'm a very private person and I'm delighted to be with myself. I'm fine. I'm blissfully happy. But in sales, I had to do the opposite. So at that stage, I had to develop myself in managing relationships. So that's a development need from my own life. So if you ponder what your development needs are, it will come to use mightily as you progress. How else would you know? In what environments do I thrive? In what environments I don't thrive? Have you thought about this? You may not want to answer. You can still say no or yes. Yes? You know, it's very important. Let's say if I put myself in your shoe and I say, look, I don't like these large hospitals. You know, there is this whole, what do you call, materialism to medicine. There is this corporate hospitals messing around the world. I want to do something on my own. Maybe you'll realize I don't want to thrive in that corporate hospital environment. Or you might say, look, I don't like being alone. I want to be in a team. I want to be in a group. Right? Or you might say, look, I don't like this practice, blah, blah, blah. I want to be in academics. If you understand what environments really bring you alive, you will have an absolutely divine career. So think about it. What environments you thrive and what you don't thrive. What are my fears? I'm sure nobody will answer this. But no, don't show the white. No. Oh, there's a bowl. I love that. I should have brought a chocolate and I would have actually given, I should have done that, but failure. So,
my name is Arav, sir. And,
your name is?
Arav. And the biggest fear is the failure, sir. The future failure predictions.
Exactly. First of all, thank you for standing up. Because that one soul which stands up and starts the proceeding needs a clap. Okay? And now he said, fear of failure. Right? How many human beings you think have, what do you call, blood and plasma? So you're looking at me, why is this guy asking such a stupid question? I would say, fear of failure is as prevalent as blood and plasma in human beings. Every soul will have it at some point in life. Right? Now at 27, I was afraid of water. I can't put my feet into a swimming pool. So Bharat is looking at me surprised. So at 52, I learned swimming. And today I enjoy swimming. But it took me, 26 years to get out of that fear. And I enjoy it. So some fears take you a lifetime. Some fears you never get out of it. It's okay. But the thing is, if you know what you're afraid of, you're far more powerful that you'll be able to navigate it. Okay? Reflect on it. What's my learning style? You know, we all learn differently. There are some people who like to read, study, learn. Some people discuss. Some people read, go back to the room, reflect. Some people by doing. Some people by just asking questions. I don't study, but I'll ask you 20 questions that whatever answer you give me, I'll learn. If you know how you learn, you will again thrive. Right? What motivates me? You know, what stresses me out? Where do I get my energy from? Have you pondered that question? Where do you get your energy from? With due apologies to the person who designed the Boost the Secret of My Energy, I've got about a different energy, right? Have you pondered?
Well, personally, my energy comes also kind of from a fear. I have a fear of the unknown. So for me, managing the unknown, spirituality is very important for me. So I get a lot of my energy from my spirituality.
Excellent. So what she said is absolutely true. Maybe for her, spirituality is that fountain where she gets, that energy from. For someone else, it could be relationships. For someone else, it could be just the friend circle. For someone else, it could be individual achievement. When I see myself growing, achieving, that pumps me with energy. You see all the cricketers, somewhere that the huge drive to achieve will propel them. Have you seen performing artists, singers, dancers? One of the sources of their energy, one of their sources is the audience appreciating them. As they do it, it pumps them up again, and they want to keep hearing this. So if you can find what your source of energy is throughout your career, you will never get tired. Now, you can speak to people who work for 25 years, 35 years. Oh, look, I'm just waiting to retire. I'm so tired. You can perpetually be energized. what gives me joy, what irritates me. This is not about your friend or whatever, but what irritates me is what situations must be in life. What strengths do I overuse? I'm not going to speak about this right now, but I'm spending this time on these questions because if there is one set of, if there is one thing that's going to help you all through your life is know yourself. It's going to come with you always. If someone asks you to articulate what your top 3 values are, I'm sure you would be able to do. Yeah? Yes? Have you thought about that? Yes? No? No. You know, there is how many of you see IPL right now? I don't watch it very often, but now and then. Are you not bombarded by this advertising which says this particular game is as easy as yes or no? Have you seen that ad? Has nobody seen that ad? There's a new gaming site. Like Dreamland, there's a new gaming site. I believe all you need to do is just yes or no. So my questions are predominantly yes or no to you. So I would just love to hear either a nod or no. Now values. It's a pretty boring subject. Because we'll say, look, yeah, it's too academic, blah, but all through your life, consciously or unconsciously, I've been using values. Now, early on in life, one of the values I had was, I will not do anything in life which in any way spoils someone else's life. For example, I had an opportunity to join a cigarettes company. All right? I did my summer training in my master's MBA in an alcohol company. You need to do a summer placement. But all through my life I decided, even if they'll give me all the money in the world, I will not work for a smoking company or an alcohol company. I don't want to come home and either tell my kids or my mother, look, today I enrolled 10 people into smoking. I'm so delighted. So my value was, look, I will not be there. So as you go through, all through your life, I'm sure the conflicts you will have mostly will be of values. So if you're very clear, delighted, there's no right answers, but I found that useful in my life. Okay, I'm going to read this. This quote, I go back to my professor in MBA, so he delightfully quoted this. It says, all things being equal, people buy things from people they know. All things being equal, people buy things from people they know. Right? The next one says, all things not being equal. Can someone complete that?
People buy things from people they know.
Yeah. So all things not being equal, people still buy things from people they know. That's the truth. Alright? Why am I saying this? All through your life, you will have an ecosystem, you will have a support system around you coming through all the way. That support system, it could be medicine suppliers, colleagues, it could be family, it could be business contacts. Without that support system, you're not going to survive. So do you nurture that support system actively? Some of the relationships that you build now, when you're 25, could come to you all the way till when you're 56. It'll help you in your career. So in my own life, I realized that my network lasted with me, helped me in so many ways. I did help them. But the point I would like to say is, think about it. At some point, you're going to be independent medical practitioners. You will need that ecosystem around you for you to survive. Not just survive, do well. We spoke about mentor in treating illnesses, right? Even in your life, I've realized through my life, I've had so many mentors. Sometimes my bosses, at home, sometimes a colleague. You get inspiration from a mentor. You get guidance, of course. You take their wisdom. You also get inspiration. All right? So can someone share what's your source of inspiration? Anybody wants to share? What's your source of inspiration? No, don't worry. No. We won't force anybody to answer. Oh yeah, please.
My dad, sir.
My dad, absolutely. So it could be someone very close who, your dad could be an inspiration, could be a mentor, thanks. Right? The reason is, when I say a mentor, the mentor not only shares his or her wisdom, they also inspire you. I'll go back to 2016, I was in Ghana on a sales visit. I was managing director of West Africa. It was hotter than this. We were in the market calling on outlet after outlets, and there was this woman, young woman, should be maybe in her 20s. Now in Africa, most people who do physical labor tie the baby to their back. I don't know, have you seen pictures? So from the front, when you see, you'll see two small feet here. You know, the baby is at the back. They have a cloth. All right? This woman, at 42 degrees Celsius temperature, I was sweating, you know, you have Mirinda, whatever nonsense that you get your hand on. I'm not saying Mirinda is nonsense. I'm saying all that stuff is regular. I love Mirinda. Now this woman, with a baby behind, she was carrying physical load on her head for 4 hours. Why? Because I was there in the market at 9 o'clock. I passed by the same market at about 1:30. She was still working. As an expatriate managing director, I was very well taken care of by the company. No complaints. I still used to think our life could be slightly different, you know, better. When you see that woman, I just can't complain. Sometimes an unknown person lands up being your inspiration or even your mentor. We just don't know, the common person. So in summary, I thought for you to live your dream, if I take the same analogy, then you need the patient, you need to know yourself well. There you had a bank of medicines. Now out here, you need to have an ecosystem. That's what you want to use. And lastly, a mentor, whoever he or she is. So I'll stop here. No, I still have 15 more minutes, but I'll just pause, right? Because I've been speaking for about 20 minutes. Any questions?
Why is it important to have a mentor?
Okay, so he had a question, why is it important to have a mentor? So what I thought I'll actually do was, I thought I'll maintain silence for a minute. You know, if someone maintains silence for a minute, it's so difficult to sit and still see them. Have you tried that? If you have ever attended an interview, and you're interviewing me, yeah, you're going to be my potential boss. You asked a question, I answered, and you just stay silent, and you look at me, I'll start coming under pressure. I'll feel I need to answer more. I'll answer more, and you'll catch me with that. So Bharat asked, why do you need to have a mentor? At 56, I still feel I have not arrived in life. I'm still not sorted out. I'm still work in progress. So all through our life, we are always work in progress. Sometimes emotionally, sometimes financially, sometimes on the job, sometimes in relationships. So somewhere a third person giving you a view is mighty useful, because I'm always colored. You know, I read a quotation which said, we don't see things the way they are. We see things the way we are. We don't see things the way they are, we see things the way we are. So my view is always colored. You know, my 30 years of work the kind of people I worked with, my life experiences will always color me. So if Bharat was my mentor, he will give me a different perspective. I will any day value that perspective. End of the day, to take it or leave it is my prerogative, but it's great to have a mentor. Now, this is just, you know, it's funda at 4:30 types. You know, someone gives you, this is what I learned types. I just want to dwell on your journey, the next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Now what I'm going to share is what I went through, so it may or may not resonate with you. As you embark, 1-2 years, I don't know what the profile of this group is, how many are final years, how many are interning. So sooner or later you want to start your career out. I'm sure you have many options. I advise a few young kids, when I say young kids, 24, 26, in their first job, they're still confused. They say, this is not what I want, but I want to try and figure out. My request would be, just start. Just start somewhere. You may not get the perfect start. Now 2, how many of you have mapped out your life for the next 40 years? Have you mapped out your life for the next 40 years? No, I see some no's. No. Okay. So when I joined GSK in 27, now at that point I said, look, I need to get this job. I want to enjoy life. That's all I had when I was 27. Climate change was not in my mind. I didn't want to change the world. I said, look, I don't take care of myself. I want to be independent. Now, at that point, I had some colleagues who said, by 30, I should be here. By 35, I should have got married and 1 child. 40, I would have built my house. 45, visited 10 countries. I just couldn't see beyond 2 years. Right? Now, if you think, but today I speak to a few 24-year-olds, they're under tremendous pressure, what they've created on themselves, because they're saying, look, I don't know if the skill I'm using right now in 10 years will get outdated. What happens then? So is this a line I should pursue now? Valid question, but we don't know. So my own experience is, start somewhere. You don't need to map out all your 40 years. You will figure it out. You will just figure it out. How many of you have read the book 25 Ways to Have a Blissful Marriage Life? No? Because there isn't any. Okay? But do we figure it out? We just figure it out. So we'll figure out our careers also. The second piece I want to speak about is, he's no more right now. He was a Harvard business management professor. His name is Clayton Christensen. So he wrote a book called How Will You Measure Your Life? It's a small book. It's a good read. Now there he says, a person's career goes on two rails. One is serendipity, other is calculation. So in other words, there are decisions you take which is, I want this, I'm going to do this, and you will do it. And in your life, there will be some decisions you will just walk in accidentally. You didn't plan it, it just happened. You took on with it, it just worked out. Or some may not work out. All through your life, you can't plan everything. Not all through your life, I'll just keep going easy, I'll say what, we'll keep going all over the place. So what I found useful in my life was, when I walked in to do my master's in packaging technology, it was by accident. I didn't decide saying that this is what I want in life. No. Someone who knew someone recommended that to me. I tried it, I enjoyed it, I went on. It opened another venue. So I found that working. By the way, I have to share this. I have a school friend of mine who right now works for a leading newspaper, and he's an amazing, well-respected quiz master, and he covers sports, sports, what do you call, correspondence, whatever. He's 56, he's of my age. We studied in school together. At 16 or 17 in grade 12, I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. In grade 8, this guy told me, I will work in this company, which was a newspaper company, and I will do only press correspondence, and I will be a quiz master. He was in grade 8, and he's still that right now in 56. For some people it works out. They just seem to have figured their out life when they're maybe 10 or 8. But you will, in some cases, you just get on. So I will urge you, be open to serendipity, right? You may never know where your next opportunity could come from. By the way, can anyone resonate with serendipity? Has something happened in your life which is by accident, but wow, it just worked out? I think you'll need a mic.
In my third class, I thought I'll become a veterinary doctor because I was very much motivated by my aunt. But after intermediate, I accidentally came into Ayurveda. Which is not a bad thing. I really like Ayurveda.
So, two things I'll appreciate. One, for being honest, and two, I guess you love Ayurveda.
Yes, I really love it.
So look, this is true. This is true all through our life. Sometimes we realize it, sometimes we don't realize it. But if you're open to it, I think we'll enjoy it. You're the right persons to ask this question. You see what's on screen, right? Have you ever seen anybody who's born and all the way till he or she is 60, 70, they didn't get cold even once, never fell ill, they had no health problem, they had no mental, emotional issues, 70 years, flawless and smooth? No, I'm sure the answer is no. Of course, you're all Ayurvedic doctors. I'm sure you'll want someone to come to you saying, look, I have a problem. Okay? The reason I'm saying this is, when we know falling ill, recovering, becoming healthy again is fine, we take it for granted. But sometimes when we have one failure, one pitfall, one speed breaker, we just sit down and look, my life is done. In this group, has anybody had that thought? I will volunteer. I had that thoughts not once, quite a few times in my life. Right? Thanks for being honest. It's absolutely normal It's absolutely normal to go, fall down, get up, move on, change direction, just get on with life. In your 40 years, you're going to take decisions which may not be correct. You're going to go in directions which may not be what you wanted it to be. You will change. It's fine to go west to ultimately go north. If you're open to it, you will enjoy it. You'll just keep on. It's like a child falling sick and getting up and moving on. If you're not open to it, that's what leads us to either depression, I think I'm bad, I'm not worth it. So it's a very common thing, but think about it. You're just starting your journey. It's just okay to have those small trippings in life. It's fine. Okay, it's a wrong font color. It should not be white, it should have been black. Can you even see what's on screen? Okay, so this is not like one of the tough questions Dr. Swaminathan asked to complete this sloka types. You know, the reason I put this is out of my own experience. All through our lives, we are either chasing, or we are collecting, or we are comparing. Chasing what? Money, relationship, power, role, this, that. Just it never ends. Collecting. You know, today I and my wife joke. For about 20 years, we were collecting so much furniture because we were obsessed with, this is good, that is colonial, this is fine. We have got nirvana now. We said, look, last 10 years we have not bought any furniture. We keep collecting. We collect memories. Why do you think before I even eat food on a new restaurant, I first take a picture, put it on Insta and then start eating? We collect memories. Or we share, we compare. If we compare and we get motivated, I compare myself with Virat Kohli. How is he maintaining his, fitness like this? Great. But if I compare someone and I feel let down, it's not a great comparison. The beauty of, I'm sure when you started growing up, social media was with you all through, right? Right? So when I was growing up, I'm talking about the early 80s, there was no social media. So imagine after school, you just say bye and you don't see this person for the next 20 years, right? So for 20 years, you're going to, let's say you go to Kanchipuram, you've been to Delhi on a holiday, you go to, Jaipur, you're very thrilled. After 5-8 years, you realize someone went to Singapore for a holiday. So it took 7 years for you to feel bad, look, he's gone to Singapore, I went only to Rajasthan. Right? But it's blissful because for 7 years I was happy. But right now, even I'm planning to go to Rajasthan, I see my friends already landed in Changi Airport in Singapore. I said, look, why am I not going to Singapore? We keep comparing. I would say, did I compare? Absolutely. When I was 24, 27, 35, 40, I was comparing. Now, blissfully, no, I'm not comparing. And there is so much joy. The point I'm trying to say is, to compare is normal, to compare is human, to compare is fine. As long as you don't let it eat yourself, you will have a wonderful career. Because all of your progresses in life will vary. It goes like this. It's just okay. Right? So this is just my take. Feel free to disagree. There's nothing absolute about all these points. Okay? But in all this chasing, comparing, whatever I realize is just don't forget to have fun. Just don't forget to have fun. Fun could be different for each person, right? One thing about working in a corporate environment for 30 years is every quarter you have an appraisal. How many of you have gone through an appraisal or heard about an appraisal? Right? So here's where you sit with your boss and your boss says, this has gone well, this is not okay, so you need to improve here, you're doing a great job. So every quarter, so that means 30 into 3. I've had 90 appraisals in my life. Okay? So being told you're good and not good. So one of the feedback I got early on in life when I was 27 and 30 is, you're taking life too seriously. I didn't understand, look, what do you mean? I said, I'm driven, I want to achieve. They said, look, just loosen up. So I didn't know what it wants to loosen up. I started loosening up after I had 2 kids. That's when I realized I just can't be maybe a different person. Till then, it was for me a certain direction, something needs to be done, what's the next month? The point I'm trying to say is, having fun, I realized the hard way, is absolutely necessary. So if you're having that, wonderful. Don't take your job too seriously, your career too seriously, it's fine. It's just a part of your life. I'm just going to put some post-its on the screen. I'm going to read these. It says patient psychology. Now, you need to tell me what's common to all this. Patient psychology, running a clinic, financial literacy. Here's where it becomes slightly difficult. Social media, Gen Z. That should not be difficult. AI. So what's common to patient psychology, financial literacy, social media, Gen Z, running a clinic, and AI? I know you will not get the answer, but I'm still asking you. What's common? Any guesses?
All these self-growth.
Yeah, so you're frightfully close to what I had in mind. So thanks for that. Thank you for volunteering. He said, look, all these will help us grow. Now the point I wanted to share here is, these are very diverse. They are not really connected. But at some point in life, you would have picked it up. You already know, you've learned. Or if it's AI, you don't know 15 years down the line, if AI and Ayurveda meets, what can happen? You just don't know. But you will pick it up. So in other words, I don't know if I can read it. Learning agility, I found, if someone asks me, if you hire a person, what would you look for? I won't look for qualifications. Of course, I will look for values. And the only other thing I look for is learning agility. If there is someone who has learning agility, they will prosper in life. So tomorrow, as the world moves, you are entering a world which is so fast changing, nobody knows what's the next 5 years. The world I worked in was far calmer, less chaotic. You are in a far more chaotic world. Somewhere learning agility is going to help you a lot. So if you're open to receiving, as you rightly said, absolutely right, it will help you grow. So I'll place a premium on learning agility. Of course, I'll place a premium on lifelong learning. I don't know how many of you know that Dr. Bharat is right now pursuing a course. He's an alumni of this college. What course are you pursuing?
I'm doing my healthcare management from IIM.
So healthcare management from IIM. So he's just joined it. He's going to take 1 year, 2 years?
1 year each.
1 year. So I would say that's an example of lifelong learning. If you're open to it, the whole world is yours. So never close it that once I'm out of this college, I'm sure you will not, but it's a delightful world out there, absolutely exciting. I'm sure Dr. Swaminathan here has a legacy behind him. Each of the professors here leave a legacy behind them. Have you thought about what would you want to be your legacy? Think about it, right? Now you will say, look, why am I'm just going to start my work right now. Why am I looking at what legacy will I leave? Just allow it, just plant it, it will come alive. If someone asks me, when will you start saving for retirement? I'll answer them, the day you start working. You can't start saving for retirement 2 years before retirement, you'll never retire. Similarly, the legacy that you want to leave after 40 years, you need to think about it right now. Because that legacy, that set of value system, the direction you will take is what you will decide who you want to be. It will cast a shadow there. So in summary, sometimes when you see YouTube video, right, and sometimes those webinars, whatever, you're a little bored, you just click on the thing, it will tell you 5 minutes left, 7 minutes left. I've done that? Okay. So we're just 7 minutes away from close, I'm just saying. So this is the last but 2 slide, okay? In summary, you saw this. This is my take of what life could be. You will have your own take, feel free, right? I'm sure you will do one. We spoke about just having a start, not planning everything. You will pivot, you will find your direction. We spoke about not planning your next 30 years. If you're okay with the next 1, 2, 6 months, it's fine, just move on. We talked about being open to serendipity, not always designing, I will decide my next move in life. I'm open to what life throws at me. I will work on it, I'll enjoy it. Now we spoke about making mistakes is normal, making mistakes is fine. So I will not make any mistakes if I don't take any risks. And if I don't take any risks, I don't discover anything. It is such a safe life. It's pretty boring. We spoke about having fun, we spoke about learning agility, we spoke about lifelong learning, and we spoke about inspiring others. Now the legacy, I would say, just as you said, some people inspired you. At some point in life, if you inspire others, believe me, that will give you tremendous joy. Tremendous joy. You won't get anything monetary in return. Just for having inspired someone else, you'll sleep better. Now when I was 25, 23, 27, the world always told me, oh, it's better you do this. I think you should be like this. I'm sure in your world right now, the world keep pushing you this, what you should be. If you're not, you're delightfully in a blissful space. I wasn't. I was under pressure. Now Dr. Brené Brown is a very renowned psychologist. She had the quote which said, willingness to let go of who you thought you should be in order to be who you are. The willingness to let go of who you thought you should be in order to be who you are. The day you are who you are, you'll be blissfully happy. Your mind, whatever, your thoughts, words, actions, everything is in peace. You're at peace with the rest of the world. It might take some time to get there. It's fine. But I found this extremely useful. And my last slide, I don't know if you can read this. Can you read this? I'm going to allow you to read this. You know, this is such a powerful poem about possibilities. We always feel what I dream when I wake up is gone. But here is a poet who says, what if you dream and you pluck that flower and you woke up, you actually had that flower. How fantastic would life be? So as you just step ahead for the next, 80 years of life ahead, I would wish you an absolutely fascinating time with this kind of possibility. Okay, good luck to you, and I would say go ahead and live your dream. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your informative and insightful words. Now, I would like to welcome Dr.S.Swaminathan, sir, to the stage. I'm delighted to invite Dr. A.G. Vaijayanti ma'am and Dr. Bharat Narendra sir on the stage to present the certificate and memento to the speakers. I call upon Dr. Vaijayanti ma'am and Dr. Vijay Shankar sir to present the certificate and memento to Dr. S. Swaminathan sir. Thank you. Now, I would like to welcome Shri T.S. Dayanand sir to the stage. I call upon Dr. Uday Kumar sir and Dr. Deepak sir to present the certificate and memento to sir. Thank you. I now invite Dr. Valedictory Function ma'am to present the mementos to the speakers by VN Herbals.
I want to personally thank Mr. Varadarajan and Mr. Narayanan sir from VN Herbals for being a great support for this Prabodha 2024 April edition. They are the sponsors of this event. A big round of applause, please.
Thank you. As we draw to a close on today's splendid event, I am delighted to invite Dr. Jennifer P. Ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
As we all conclude this enlightening seminar, first and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the speakers, Dr.S.Swaminathan sir, for his insights about his fascinating shlokas, and the next speaker, Shri T.S. Dayanand sir, for sharing the immense knowledge and expertise talk with us. Next, I would like to thank our MC members, Dean Sir, Dr.S.Swaminathan, Principal Sir, Dr. Chittanandan Das, Vice Principal Sir, Dr. Praveen B.S., Dr. Pradeep Maharana Sir, Dr. Usha Patil Ma'am for the guidance and support. And I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks to our Administrative Officer, Shri Shankara Narayanan Sir, for his constant support. And I would like to thank the organizers of Shri Jendra Saraswati Ayurveda College Alumni Association, President Dr. A.G. Vaijayanti Ma'am, Vice President Dr. Keshav M.S. MVS Sir, General Secretary Dr. Bharat Narendra Sir, Joint Secretary Dr. Jennifer, Treasurer Dr. Lakshmi J, Executive Committee members Dr. Bala Tripura Sundari, Dr. Shiva, Dr. Maheshwara Reddy, Dr. Desni K, Dr. Reshma Ramakrishnan for the valuable contribution. Next, we owe special gratitude to our teaching faculties for their presence. I extend my gratitude to alumni of our college, our PG scholars, interns, students for their active participation. Next, I thank Dr. Deepak Raja Sir, Dr. Vijay Shankar Sir for arrangement of the banners, and I thank Dr. Reshma Ramakrishnan Ma'am for the coordination of the stage. Next, I would like to thank our sponsors from VN Herbals. Last but not the least, a special thanks to those who have worked behind the screen, videographer Mr. Jitendra Kumar, volunteers Vatsala, Amrita and first year boys. Special thanks to our canteen, Mr. Mani for the snacks. Technicians, Mr. Suresh, Satya and Ramakrishna for the screen and audio functioning. Once again, I thank you all, one and all who have gathered here. Thank you. Now we'll proceed to the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाये तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद।